I understand that there's a shortcut here in terms of acknowledging all the dignitaries here. As the Deputy Minister just said, if I have to repeat all of that, that will be the end of my speech. So first and foremost, thank you very much for the opportunity and recognizing all the dignitaries here, the Minister, Deputy Minister, and yes, the shortcut, all protocols are observed. So now I can start. With the budgetary constraints within the various sporting codes, Tiger Woods couldn't make it today. So hence I've been given the opportunity to share some thoughts with you. And when I was asked to do this, I promised that I won't be controversial, but I can't keep that promise. So I want to kick this off by saying, and I hope I get the reaction that I was getting from everybody else. Winning is not everything. It's the only thing. Now, the moment I shared that with my children this morning, they said to me, but Dad, you taught us that winning is not everything. I said, yes, because in your mind, what does winning mean? What does it mean to win? Does it mean to come first? Does it mean to give your best? Does it mean to get the gold medal? Does it mean to get a bronze medal? What does winning mean for you? Whether that being in the sporting environment, whether that be in a work environment, within government, what does it mean? And I realized how we have been conditioned, brainwashed, influenced to have a very specific perception about what winning means. Yes, we hate to lose. Yes, we don't like coming second. But what does winning mean for you sitting here this morning, for the various sport codes of Namibia? What does that mean? What does it mean for you that we need to be the best? Now, sitting this morning in the VIP room, I had the privilege of having the Honourable Minister ask me a very good question. She said to me, give me some good news. I think over the last 24, 36 months, we've been inundated with exceptionally difficult times and in most instances difficult news. And I always find myself trying to look at the other side of the coin. A wise man once said to me, if we can find commonality between difficult circumstances and when things are going good, that's where we'll find a space where everybody is going to be a winner. And the typical analogy is to take a coin. We can take our $5 Namibian coin. If I turn it this way, you'll have a picture on the one side. I'll have a picture on the other side. Although we're both looking at the same coin, we've got different pictures. And it's when we turn that coin on the side that we have the same picture of the edges of that coin. And if we can get the ability right within the sporting codes and within the sporting ministry to get that synergy, and that is what I want to talk to you guys about this morning, is the word synergy. If we can get synergy within the various sporting codes and within the ministry, I firmly believe, as I said to the Honourable Minister this morning, I firmly believe that we have the next Serena Williams, the next Tiger Woods, the next superstar Usain Bolt coming out of Namibia. Yes, he might not be the fastest in the world, but he's certainly going to be make a name for him or herself and obviously for the country. But the question is, how do we go about this, creating that synergy within the various departments, within the various sporting codes, within the ministry? How do we go about doing that? Because we're strong individuals. Namibia is certainly not a country of weak people. It's a country that's come an amazingly long way over very difficult times, difficult circumstances. And the reality remains is with strong people and strong individuals and everybody having their own dream and their own vision, how do we go about creating that synergy, that we can all move in a common direction, that we can all move with the same goal in mind, with ultimately achieving that goal, but all moving in the same direction. Namibia always reminds me of a small pond, and there are some big fish in this pond. And all these big fish are all battling for their own little space. And yet, if we just get that synergy, just get that ability to move in the same direction, it's going to become a total different playing field. Now, if you go and look, and I just briefly looked up the word synergy, and the very short of that is that the combined goal of various individuals, various sporting codes, various anything, is greater than the goal of the individual. Now, if we just unpack that for a short second, that means that my needs are smaller than the group's needs. And we often see that in the team sports. I've had the privilege of playing rugby on provincial level, and I remember I had my own personal goals, and yet the team goals always came first. Whatever I wanted to achieve was not nearly as important as what the team had to achieve. Now, here's the big question, and I want to leave a couple of thoughts with you. I was told that I've got 2 hours to keep you guys busy. I won't be that long, I promise. But honestly, you look way too serious at this stage. Now, no COVID protocols need to be observed, but do me a favor, just turn to the person on your right-hand side and just have a look at their ear. And then just tell them that they certainly got the most amazing ears you have ever seen. Okay, that's better. That's better. All right. Good. Now that everybody is with me, how do we go about creating this synergy within? And I want to specifically, if I may, relate this back to the sporting ministry. How do we go about as a ministry creating the synergy through all the sporting codes and through all the various sections beneath the various sporting codes with all the various chairpersons and the structures underneath? In a country that is as vast as Namibia, where you can be from the southern part of Namibia up to the northern parts of Namibia, and taking into account that Namibia is one of the most sparsely populated countries in the world, with 2 people per square kilometer, taking that into account, how do we go about getting the message across that we are all moving in the same direction? And I want to leave a couple of pointers with the distinguished guest this morning. Number 1, let's start creating the opportunity. Let's stop talking the opportunity and start creating the opportunities. Now, I understand the financial implications. I understand our difficulties in these times and getting sponsorships and getting everything done. But let that not stop us from creating the opportunities for the people in Namibia. Number 2, and it's not no particular order. I've just jotted down a few ideas of what I think we need to do to have the impact that I know that the Ministry of Sport wants to achieve, where we not only celebrate the achievements of the Olympic athletes that just returned from Tokyo, but that we end up achieving far greater things, that we don't just get excited when Namibia plays in the World Cup rugby and scores the first try against New Zealand, get up excited about, yes, those small victories are important, but let's go and create those opportunities. I know that the talent is in Namibia. I've got no doubt about that. Number 2, let's protect what is valuable to us. What's valuable to us as a nation, as a country, as a sporting ministry. Let's protect that at all costs. Let's make sure that everybody understands what that value is and that we all work towards that. And then this you can apply in any area of your life. Plan before you commit. Let's make sure that whatever plans we put on the table, that we have thought it through thoroughly, that we got all the stakeholders involved before we pull the trigger on committing to it. And many good ideas has gone completely astray because of planning that was done but wasn't thought through properly. And when it goes awry, that's when we are finding ourselves with sponsors that doesn't want to continue sponsoring events, companies that doesn't want to continue investing in various sporting activities. And this one, I think we as African people are exceptionally good at, is adapting to changing circumstances. It is so amazing to see how adaptable we as human beings are, and especially Africans. Man, something goes wrong in this way, we find a way this way. Something goes this way, we find a way that way, but we never give up. We need to be adaptable. Times has changed. People's behaviors has changed, as far as I'm concerned, forever. The way the world has been pre-COVID and the way it's going to be beyond COVID is going to be completely different. And we need to adapt to that. Honorable Minister, we'll have to adapt our plans differently. I believe that the way we conducted sport, and this is a prime example of how we've adapted in 2019 with the Sport Expo, it was done in a certain way. And because of COVID protocols, because we found another way of doing it, but we're hosting it. And that is the type of commitment that we would like to see. I remember when I prepared for some golf tournaments, and especially for my first world record, talent only got me a certain distance. What got me over the final finishing line was commitment, dedication. I don't have to tell you that when we wake up this morning and we're an extremely talented individual, there's probably about 10,000 similar individuals waking up somewhere around the world. And what is going to separate us from those people is the level of commitment and dedication we're going to show, not just the talent. Because on talent, we're on par with somebody else. I love listening. I had the privilege in 1999 to interview Earl Woods, Tiger's dad. And although Tiger was probably one of the most talented, and still is one of the most talented golfers that's probably ever lived next to Jack Nicklaus, the reality remains is Tiger's parents made sure that he did not only rely on his talent, they made sure that the commitment levels and that desire to want to do better is there. But that comes back to us as the governing bodies, as the ministries that looks after these sports. That desire needs to come from us. That commitment and dedication needs to come from us. We need to be very, very careful that we don't get caught up in so focused on winning the battle that we end up losing the war. We need to stay focused on the big goal. What is it that we want to achieve? What is it what we want to achieve in the short term, in the medium term, in the long term? Make sure that our eyes stays focused, that we don't get sidetracked where there are shiny things on the side. Because if we are going to sacrifice the war for one small battle, one small victory, and I've seen it myself within some of the bodies, within the sporting community within Namibia, it's what's best for this sport, regardless of whether it's the best for that sport. Remember synergy. My individual goal is smaller than the group's goal, than the collective goal. Let's not be scared to seek guidance and protection from people with experience. There's nothing wrong from learning from other people, nothing wrong from tapping into their experience. I used to have a boss when I started off my working career many years ago. He said to me, there's only two ways of gaining experience. You can either walk the path yourself, or you can learn from somebody else that walked that path. Let us not get caught up in trying to do everything ourselves. A lot of the things, a lot of the successes that's been achieved, we can learn from each other and from other countries, other ministries, and I know there's collaboration, but we need to utilize that. Value our past experiences. Man, it's so amazing. And talking about the rugby, which is obviously something I'm passionate about. The fact that Namibia is qualified for the World Rugby Cup, I think it was 4 or 5 consecutive World Cups now, 4 consecutive World Cups. I mean, let's value those experiences. Let's build on that. Let's grow on that. Let's pass that on to the youngsters that's coming in. And then I'm going to conclude in the following 2 things that I want to leave with you. Number 1, let's not be scared. Let's allow each other to make mistakes. We're not going to get it right the first time. But it's what we do when we make the mistakes that sets us apart. I've got a business partner back in South Africa. He's a wise old man. And he always reminds me, making mistakes is the best thing that you can do. Don't be scared, but just learn from it. And if I can leave you with this thought, once we've created that synergy, then let us make sure the world knows who we are. Let's go brag about our achievements because we deserve it. I thank you.
You know, a few weeks ago, I would never do this on a Saturday morning. Back then, I was standing in line all day. Now it's just like that.
You are using the FNB banking app like I told you.
Girl, it saved my weekend. Now I can do all my banking on this.
Payments, transfers, checking statements.
Even opening accounts.
Just like that.
Oh, did I tell you what my husband did?
Even me, I want to save time with the, what's the name of the app?
FNB app.
Don't be left behind. Make the switch to the FNB app, online banking or cell phone banking, and change the way you bank to change your life. FNB, how can we help you?